We walk on our floors every single day, right? But have you ever actually stopped to think about what's inside them? Well, today we're going to peel back the layers on something you probably take for granted, laminate flooring. And trust me, there's some serious engineering packed in there. I mean, it looks pretty simple, doesn't it? Just a single plank made to look like wood or stone. But don't let that fool you. Packed into that super thin profile is some really clever engineering. And here's the secret. You gotta stop thinking of it as just one thing. It's actually more like a high-tech sandwich. Yeah, a sandwich. And every single layer in there has a super important job. All right, so let's dig into that hidden structure. The whole reason modern laminate is so strong and looks so good is because it's been evolving for decades. And yeah, it's way more complex than you'd probably guess. You know, this stuff has been around since the 70s, and back then it was just kind of seen as a simple, cheap alternative to hardwood. But now, oh man, it's a completely different beast. It's so sophisticated that it can mimic wood, stone, even tile, and it's so convincing it can fool just about anyone. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff. We're going to take apart that engineered sandwich I was talking about. We'll go layer by layer, starting right at the top and working our way all the way to the bottom. So the very first layer, the one your feet are actually touching, you can't even see it. It's called the wear layer. And a great way to think about it is like invisible armor for your floor. It's the first line of defense against, well, everything. This thing is an incredibly tough, totally clear coating, and its whole job is to take a beating. We're talking dragged chairs, spilled juice, you name it, all while keeping that beautiful design underneath looking perfect. So how do you even measure how tough it is? Well, there's a system for that. It's called the abrasion class, or AC rating for short. It's just a simple number, but it tells you exactly how much abuse that armor can take. And believe me, this is super important when you're choosing a floor. Okay, moving on down. Right under that invisible shield, you've got the design layer. This is the fun part. This is where the floor gets its look, its personality, its style. And the magic here, it's basically a super high-resolution photo. I mean, we're talking a picture of real wood or real stone, printed with such insane detail that it looks completely real, right down to the tiny wood grains and textures. Let's go one layer deeper. Now we're at the heart of the plank. This is the core layer. And this, my friends, is where the floor gets pretty much all its strength and stability. It's the real substance. This is the thickest part of our little sandwich by far. It's a really dense, rigid board, and its job is to stop the plank from denting when you put a heavy sofa on it, or from bending when people walk on it. It's literally the backbone of the entire thing. Now, the material you really want here is high-density fiberboard, or HTF. That's the gold standard. They make it by just squishing wood fibers together with resin under intense heat and pressure. It ends up way harder and more water-resistant than its cheaper cousin, MDF. Oh, and here's a cool detail. This core layer is also where they carve out those clever click-lock systems. You know, the ones that make installation so easy for us DIY folks. All right, we've made it to the bottom, the final layer. This is the backing layer, and I like to call it the unsung hero, because it provides all this crucial balance and protection from underneath. So its main job is all about balance. See, it pushes back against the forces from the top layers, which is what keeps the plank from warping or cupping over time. Plus, it's a super important moisture barrier between the core and whatever's underneath it. Usually, this backing is just paper that's been soaked in melamine resin. Yeah, the same tough stuff they use for the topwear layer. This makes a really stable, water-resistant base that keeps the whole plank nice and flat. And hey, here's a little bonus. Some of the higher-end floors will actually have the underlayment already attached right here, which gives you extra cushion and soundproofing. Okay, so we've taken the whole thing apart, we've seen all the individual pieces, but the real genius of laminate flooring isn't the layers themselves, it's how they all work together as one awesome, high-performance system. Think about it. The wear layer shields the pretty picture. The picture provides the style but needs the core to be strong. And the backing layer holds the whole thing together, keeping it stable and dry. It's this perfect teamwork, this synergy, that makes laminate so incredibly durable and effective. So, now you're an expert, right? You know exactly what's inside. Let's put that knowledge to work. How do you actually use all this info to pick the absolute best laminate for your place? Remember that AC rating we talked about, the armor rating? Well, here's the deal with that. For pretty much any normal home, an AC3 is the sweet spot.
It's tough enough for busy spots like your living room or hallways. Anything less than that, like an AC1 or AC2, is really only meant for places that don't see much action. Think a guest bedroom that's almost never used.
And what about how thick the plank is? Well, a 7 millimeter plank is fine, it works, but a 12 millimeter plank, that's going to feel so much more solid when you walk on it, kind of like real hardwood. It's also more stable and it absorbs more sound, which means a quieter house overall.
Okay, so beyond those two big things, here are a few other key things to keep an eye out for. You definitely want to check for a moisture-resistant core if you're putting it in a kitchen or an entryway. Look for a good, solid click lock system that makes installation way easier. And check if it's got that pre-attached underlayment we mentioned. And last but not least, look at the warranty. A long warranty means the company actually has confidence in what they're selling you. It's like this flooring contractor, James Miller, said, understanding all these layers isn't just for fun, it's not trivia. It's how you tell the good stuff from the junk. It's what helps you pick a quality floor that's gonna last, instead of some cheap knockoff that'll look terrible in a couple of years. So yeah, the next time you walk across your floor, take a second. Remember, you're not just walking on a piece of fake wood. You're walking on a really sophisticated, engineered system. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? What other everyday things that we think are super simple are actually hiding a whole world of complexity just under the surface?